Good afternoon, wonderful viewers, wherever you might be watching us from. This is Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint. It is the return of your weekly show, the Current Affairs Show, and I would be your host for today, Mariama Sede. With me here are my guests, Mr. Kutubo Sane, a concerned citizen and of course an educationist, and Ms. Fatima Mulushi, the acting CEO of Gambian Youth Chamber of Commerce. And my co-host would be Ibrahim Mumbai. Before starting the program proper, I would like my co-host to say something.
Yeah, thank you, Mariama, and good afternoon, esteemed viewers. Like she mentioned, this is the return of your current affairs program here on Fine TV Gambia, your viewpoint. And like she mentioned, we have Mr. Kurubosani and of course Miss Fatima Mulusi. So thank you all for coming, and then thank you, Mariama.
Thank you, Ibrahim. To start with Mr. Sane, how do you see the current condition of the market, especially during this Ramadan?
Thank you very much, Mariama. Looking at the country right now, and we're talking about skyrocketing of prices, especially this Ramadan. I think I will attribute it to a few factors that has to do with the attitude of the people, and also the lack of political will. It's also a problem that is seriously hindering price control in this country. Because looking at this country, like when Ramadan approaches, people will just sit down, disappear goods for about 2-3 days, and the next morning you go to a shop and then you find that, like for instance, mayonnaise is from 1,300 to 1,600 or 1,650. I think these are unacceptable phenomena that we cannot continue with. So when the political will is there, the government should be able to intervene to make sure that there's a price tag, or there is a tag set for major commodities in this country. So, but the government is not doing that. At some point, the last national dialogue, I've had a state minister saying that the government cannot do more about price control. So that explains the lack of political will at the side of the government. So I think it is a free market, so but it's not so free. So the government can always chip in to say that this cannot happen. So what is happening right now is that people will do things, will come and add up prices at their whims and caprices at the expense of the people. And these are not justifiable facts. So that is one. Number two, I think it also has to do with the level of production, the low level of production. This country is not producing anything that is edible here. Whatever that is being consumed here is actually virtually almost imported. So that is another factor that is affecting the price of goods in this country. Like for instance, in my part of the country right now, onion is not an issue. It is not even part of the expenditure list. So the women in those areas will grow onions and begin to consume them during this time of the year. So when we are able to produce a lot of what we consume, I think that will go far in trying to control what determines the prices of those goods and services. So to that regard, I think the government also should chip in and try to help those women out there, those entrepreneurs, to be able to produce as more commodities as possible that are being consumed here. So that way, the importers also will not have that leverage, that complete absolute right to be able to just sit down one fine day and begin to come up with prices that is going to affect the people. So and then if you look at the prices, how they are escalating by the day, that is having a toll on each of the sectors that we know in this country. Because I'll give an example. When we have a bag of rice increase from 1,200 to 1,500 just outright, just overnight. When we have the issue of mayonnaise, when we have the issue of sugar from 2,500 to 1,500 to about a price that we cannot even imagine overnight. And these are not happenings that will come and hit us over time, but these are increase in prices that will happen just overnight. So these are not justifiable, and then the government should always be in a position to say this cannot happen in this country, even though we know we are a capitalist state. The motive of the capitalist is profit motive, but the government can always have their regulations because, after all, they are the major authority up there. So they can always come in to help the people in terms of production. So that will lead me to the question. The last time when I came here, I said that our main problem in this country is the lack of production. We are not producing anything. So when we are serious about issues that have to do with production, I think that will be very good for our currency. The value will never depreciate as we are experiencing right now. Secondly, the prices of goods and services also will be controlled. I remember at some point, it should be around 2021, 2022, when the government came with a regulation that has to do with the traffic fares. So that was just on the paper. Today, what we are seeing is a different scenario. Absolutely. So the government is not willing, the political will is not there. So we have to always consider the fact that the government doesn't want to. You see, this is the problem when you mix politics and development, because you always want to come back. So therefore, you don't want to determine what happens to the markets on daily basis. So the end, it is the people that are going to suffer. So the business class, like these people, can always sit down and then send WhatsApp messages to each other that, okay, we are going to do this tomorrow, and it's done. And nobody's doing anything about it. So I think that is a problem, on the side of the government for their failure to intervene in regulating the market. So when you have the issues affecting the people, there is hunger. Like the prices of goods and services have skyrocketed in this country to an extent that people no longer know their favorite food. You ask them, they will say, they only rely on what's available. They no longer know their favorite food. So when that happens, when there is hardship, there is going to be hunger. And when there is hunger, people will now begin to withdraw their children from the education systems. And what happens is those are the children that we see around Latikunda Abuko selling water to make sure there is survival, there is food on the table at home. So these are minors. And you think the Minister of Women, Children and Social Welfare are not seeing those people? They are seeing them, but because what can they do about it? So it's because of the hardship that is happening in those homes. That is why those people, instead of going to school, they are in the markets, they are in the streets, they are on the roads, risk their lives, begin to run, in between cars, to make sure they sell maybe water or nana or whatever that can be sold to make sure there is food at home. So and it doesn't stop there. It also have a high toll on the issue of security. Because when people are hungry, they are agitated. When they are agitated, they want to have something. They want to lay hand on something. So, there is theft everywhere. There is robbery. And that will lead to the high insecurity that we are seeing today. So when we neglect one part, especially a major important part that has to do with food, that has to do with prices, if that is neglected by the government, and we are not doing so much in respect to production, this is what happens. It's going to have a toll. It's going to have a bearing on the security. It's going to have a bearing on education. It's going to have bearing on our health, because you need a required nutrition to be able to stay healthy. So if you don't have that, because of the high price, it's going to have a toll on you. It's going to have a direct bearing on your health. So we're talking about a lot of sectors. So I think to summarize, to sum up, it has to do with our attitude. So to that extent, it's debatable, because most of these people are not Gambians. They come here to business, so they don't care. So that is another topic that can be discussed. So you talk about the government in their failure to come and say, look, this cannot happen. They are not doing that because of the politics, because of the stigma that can be done. So these are not issues, these are not trends that have been happening under the former regime. Why? Because there's control. We are not saying the resources to come back, but there should be a certain amount of control in terms of what happened to citizens, especially with regards to what they consume, because that is the first basic need for every human being. So if people have a problem with that, then a lot of problem will happen, and that is why we are facing a lot of problems in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kutubu. And to Ms. Mulushi, on what Mr. Sane have said, what is your take on it?
Well, thank you very much for that. And what Mr. Sane has said is absolutely what is happening currently, because a lot of people don't care about what's going on. This is simply because people are just selling based on their personal interest. They just want to make profit. They don't care about what the people are facing. But there is a saying goes that says development comes with a price, and the citizens pay for it. Mm-hmm. When you look at the past, prices were not the same as they are right now. And when you look at your salary also, 5 years ago and now, it's different. You understand? So the more development comes, the more things change. You understand? But like he mentioned, the government have a role to play. When we were kids, before the Jammeh regime, he would say, like, anyone who increase your price, the police will come for you. Yes, because there was price control, and they are not even mad for them to just sit one day and say, today bag of rice is this price, tomorrow is this price, because the government took a step towards it. But I think this regime that we have, they're trying to be flexible. I don't know, for some reason, best known to them, but we are begging to them and pleading, because the attitude of the people need to change. And the only way they can take it seriously is when the government intervene and come up with policies that these people will not be doing what they are doing. Because sometimes they are saying it's because they're importing, the currency is changing, the dollar is depreciating day by day. That might be a factor. But also the way they are doing it is very, very, sometimes I wonder if they even have a heart. In this holy month of Ramadan, it's very, very sad. Today, someone is saying bag of rice was $2,000. I was shocked. I'm like, how? Like every day. So I think what the government also need to do is to, promote our local products here. We have a lot of young people that are venturing into agriculture, but they don't even have simple machineries to start. You understand? When they're doing their agricultural work in their farms, they always face a lot of difficulties and challenges because there's no support. So when these people in the grassroots are given that support needed, then we will not be importing a lot of products from other countries. This because entrepreneurship makes a country to hold their future in their own hands, especially agriculture. The past government will say, grow what you eat. You understand? Eat what you grow. So when they put this idea also in the young people, for all of them to go back to the land and work, then we will have our future in our own hands. Foreigners will not come and be, selling products anyhow they want, because they will know that we are producing it ourselves. If I am, lucky to be part of the government, what I will introduce first is for the government to have like a big warehouse, because most of the times when these farmers produce their crops, they always say they don't have a market to sell them. So when the government have a big warehouse, our land is very fertile. Anything you grow here, anything you harvest, anything you sow, it will definitely grow here. My friend is now harvesting strawberry. And when I was young, I never thought Gambia can produce that. You understand? This shows that our land is very, very good. So if they invest into agriculture, we can produce a lot of crops here. We will stop importing from other countries. And the government can have a big warehouse where these basic commodities can be stocked there. Everybody will go and buy there. Who will come and say bag of rice today 1,500, tomorrow 1,000? Nobody will listen to you. You understand? This Ramadan that was coming, look at this lady. She's like a sister to me, Senabu Bay. When she brought the rice, she was saying $500. People were buying because other people are putting the high prices up. So things like food is very, very necessary for the prices of food not to be too high. Absolutely. Because here is a very poor country. If we have what to eat, then we will not, every other thing will just be a bonus. We will not even be worried. So the only way the government can win people's heart is to make the food to be very, very, sufficient for people to be able to afford it. If they are not able to afford it, they will keep on complaining. If I am a politician, that is the first target that I will do. Make sure what people will consume is very accessible. Through that, every year you will win. Yes, because poor countries like Gambia, though road network is very, very, important, and developing the infrastructure would also determine, our commodities, because transportation of goods and services will be easy and all of that. But in a poor country like Gambia, if you tell them, I make the road or I give you bag of rice, they will definitely point at bag of rice. Because they don't care if the country is beautiful or not. What matters is them, what they are consuming. Yeah, so I think the government needs to, pay attention to that very, very well. Invest into agriculture and help the youth to develop. Because young people here, they say we are lazy. We are not. A lot of young people are doing great now. So the ones that are trying hard, they need to invest in them, especially in the agricultural sector. Yeah.
Interesting. So Mariama, sorry, I just want to intervene. Like, Fatima was saying, food is quite important. I think that would remind me of history. That Mr. San would tell us last time that Jawara was able to stay here for long because he makes sure food is sufficient at that time. You understand? The moment you control people's stomach, you tend to control their mind and you tend to control them. So I think food being sufficient, and not only being sufficient but having their prices low will really contribute immensely. Now to the question, Miss Fatima. Let me say Fatima, right? So you've mentioned the government should provide opportunities so that young men or young people in this country could venture into it. But many governments believe that some governments are lazy enough. They are not willing to take the lead. If you check in our market, go to the bigger market. You start that market, you see Senegalese and of course the Guineans who occupy that market. So at times you tend to question whether we are ready. So like for you personally, what is your take on that? Are you really sure that governments are ready? To take the lead, to go, to our markets and do it for our people.
Well, sometimes I would say also is the mindset of the people. But the young people that are coming up, they are really trying hard. You understand? Yes, in the market, if you go there, the people you find there is foreigners and all of that. This is because many people cannot hustle in their country. Those people also, when they're in their own countries, they will not do those type of jobs. It's because they're not in their country, they're in another country. Maybe they will feel like nobody is watching me, so I can do any type of business. Our people here, when they go to other countries also, they're doing jobs there that they will never do in their own country.
Absolutely.
Yes, but young people that are coming up now, because us at the youth chamber, what we are trying to show the young people is that you need to become job creators for yourselves instead of job seekers, because there is little or no employment opportunities in the Gambia. I started a business when I was just 17 years old. So if I can do it, they need to, but they need to see people that will inspire them for them to start up doing something. A lot of young people are trying though, now, especially in the agricultural sector and entrepreneurship. If you look at this social media status, every now and then you see people posting, they are selling, everybody is selling. You understand? The mindset is now changing compared to before, because before Gambians think only poor people do business. If you are selling, they are like, what are you selling? Be in the office and all of that. Not everyone can be in the office. Our women are also trying in the market. They are really, really doing great in the market. If you wake up at 5 a.m., the people you meet at the road are women carrying vegetables and all of that, going to sell in the market. Yes, foreigners are dominating our market. Our young people, our citizens, we need to come and take responsibility of our country. Sometimes I feel like Gambians, they get scared to invest. Yes, what we fancy is having beautiful houses, beautiful cars.
Absolutely.
But to invest in business, they always get scared. I don't know why. For some reason, it's just investment to them. But what we can do is just to do more of sensitization, dialogue like this. Talk to them, talk to the people, tell them that there is money in this country. Foreigners that are coming, they are taking the money to their own country. Come and invest. If you're in Europe, you have money, come. Gambia, there is money here. Yes, because sometimes they think the population is too small. If I do a business, people will not buy and all of that. But foreigners are making it here. Look at the Lebanese, the Chinese. They have dominated our fish market now.
Absolutely.
They're in control of everything. The Indians now. They're taking the whole country. Look at our lands. Going to them. So it's very, very sad. Sometimes I wonder, where is the future of this country? Us that are coming up, will we even be able to get a land in this country? Everywhere is food. It's very, very sad. Yes, so if we cannot get access to those, let us get access to food for us to have, efficient food.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Mulushi, for that. And now to Mr. Sane. So, Mr. Sane, how is this really affecting the poor and the needy, or the underprivileged people?
If you must digest this issue of price hike and how it is affecting the people, we have to be honest to ourselves. Now, I talk about 2-3 things that is going to have a direct bearing on our health. We will not be healthy in the absence of the required nutrition, and also education will be affected, because when people do not have food, when they are thinking about what to eat, they do not think about sending their kids to school. So that is going to also be affected. So generally, I also linked it to security, because when people do not have anything, they want to make sure they have something to eat, because they cannot die. The human soul is such that it's intrinsic. Like, you want to live, you want to survive. So it takes everything possible to make sure that they survive. Now, this is really affecting the people, and the government knew about that. When you are working, like the working class can tell you very clearly that one of the problems affecting this country is the issue of a dependency ratio. Like, you are working with your little earnings, so salary always remains. Like, it happens that maybe in every decade, or let me not say century, that the salary increases. So salary will always remain, and these commodities will always increase. So you have a family to feed, and then you are given that pittance called salary at the end of the month. So you have a family to feed, and you have an extensive relationship. We all know how dependency ratio is an issue in this country, that is really affecting um, the, 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 the individual developments of people, I would say. So you have a family to feed, and at the end, prices are always going up, and the salary remains. So whenever that you have your layer on that pittance at the end of the month, so what happens is that you are not being sustained as an individual. So let alone the family that you are feeding. So and you're talking about clothing, you're talking about house rent. All these are not controlled. You're talking about traffic. People are going to work each and every day, and then the commercial vehicle owners also will sit down at their mercy and charge fares. They can tell you today from here Laman is 25 or is $15, or from Westfield is $100, and nobody can do anything about it. In most cases, I used to have issues with people. Like, you report this to the police, in fact, they don't care because they feel that they don't have the grip of it. So in this country, one of the problems is that sometimes you tend to ask who is in charge. Nobody seems in charge in this country. Everything is happening like if nobody is in charge. So that is a problem. So this is really affecting the people in terms of whatever they do, because it all has to start with food. Molisi was talking about empowerment of young people with regards to the productive sector, exactly the agriculture. Now, in fact, you'll be surprised that, like, maybe he will not be blunt to tell you that, but you'll be surprised that the government is competing these entrepreneurs. Like, you tell Fatima that, okay, here is, you can go and do poultry, for instance. Fatima has this poultry at the corner and is trying to manage, even though everything that's about poultry is very expensive. So while Fatima is managing, you go and give license to the Lebanese to say, okay, you can import chicken, or an Indian, or maybe someone very powerful, and Fatima $400. So this Indian, because he has money and he can import a lot, you can say, okay, mine is 250 or 150 per kilo. Are we going to Fatima do that? And you are at the same time giving license to other very powerful people to come and compete those young people that you are saying that you are empowering. You talk about agriculture, we have a lot of projects. A lot of projects are came here, the Roots project, the NEMA project, all these projects will come out and phase out without impact. Sometimes you wonder what kind of country that we are. These are issues that we should be able to talk about. In as much as we don't work on the productive sector, we are going to continue to suffer. We are going to remain hungry. That is why everybody is angry in this country. You want to know, go to the public institutions, go listen to radios, listen to the TV. Like, you interact every day. You realize that, or you don't just join the commercial vehicle right now. People are very angry in this country. Like, if I have an opportunity to see the president, I will tell him that, Mr. President, you are presiding over an angry nation. Like, everybody's angry. Like, Gambia was not known for that. Like, people smile and all of that. But that is changing, and it is going to be linked to one thing, and that is people are suffering. Like this, during this Ramadan, just be observant when they said there is going to be iftar distribution today, or food distribution, or someone is giving us something. Man, people are lying up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that explains the suffering that the people are. Like, Gambians are said that sometimes we do not come up to say what we are affected. Sometimes they say the women. No, that is Gambia. Women are suffering and they are homes, but they will not come out to say, "But this is what is happening to us." Even though the narrative is now changing. That is not a problem of women in this country. That problem is Gambia. Today, you meet someone that is really in a serious financial constraint. Even food is a problem at home. You talk to the person, give you a cute smile. The person will wear a very good smile and say, "I'm fine. We are all fine. We are smiling." So that's really the case. We are faking it. People are really suffering. So if you ask me what is going to be the impact of this issue of skyrocketing, I'm going to say the impact is such that we cannot overemphasize. Is having a problem on all the other sectors in this country, and it's about time that something is done about the issue of price hike in this country. Because if it continues, people are going to, like the late Vice President Badara Aluju, may he so rest in peace, we always talk about this. When people are tired, when people are agitated, they will come out. So sometimes, that is why I think, that statement, people do not only see the literal meaning, but if you look at the context, coming out not maybe as a form of revolution or so, but they will come out in what sense? We are seeing a new hike in drug abuse. What is causing it? Alright, because the youth are hungry, the youth are hopeless, the youth are idle. That is why they tend to venture into some of those illegal activities.
Absolutely.
And in return, what is happening? It is having a significant negative impact on their lives, because most of them are dying as a result of the cause that we are seeing. All right. it's also having a significant impact on their mental health. I have seen someone at our area who is mad and is already attacking people out of drug. What is happening? Because the youth are not engaged. Last I was saying, when they are not engaged, what happens? They are idle. When they are idle, they tend to be driven by their desire, the willpower. Alright, so these are issues. So when you neglect, especially an important part of people's life, that is food, education is going to crumble. That's why we have several dropouts. Go to the schools, you will know. So I'm not, like, sometimes you tend to see if we are really serious about anything in this country. Whatever that you talk about, Gambia is seriously behind in everything. So it's about time that we work on the production sector. You don't even need to have like in the Gambia, you don't need to suffer well to get people back to agriculture. Go down the people that are doing it. Alright? Empower them, support them. They will produce, like as Fatima said. If they have rice, who will come here and say, okay, my bag of rice is 2,000, and who will listen to you? During the days, people are going back to the farm, and even they will go to their communities and begin to talk to them, but they don't care. They don't care how much the government can do for them. But today, in fact, are those lands even available for people to farm? That's why when I talk about the political will, these are issues that I'm talking about. Like, let's say the land income, for instance. If you are here as a youth and you want to go back to the land, where are you going? You must have to go out, and by going out, you need extra expenses. Like, let's say you want to go to Fonya and farm, or Jara, or CRR. What do you need? You need mobility. Alright? You need fuel to be able to going up and down. You need people to take them there. So we know that is an extra cost. So what is happening to our land here? Like Fatima said, that like she was talking about residents, that whether we are even going to have someone to decide. But it's beyond that. In the next 5-10 years, the question will be whether we will have a place or a land to farm. And by that, what are we doing to ourselves? We are simply saying, okay, now we are educated, we can speak English. So they have, that's why we are speaking very good English with empty stomach. Yes. Alright? So, these are issues that we need to work on to make sure there is land for agriculture and there is empowerment, and we are serious about it. But every year, you will give millions of dollars to the Ministry of Agriculture, and you will have international projects. NEMA will come, RUS will come, all these projects will come. The enforcement that they will do is they will go and buy cars, like very brand new vehicles for projects. Why do you need those vehicles for projects? Every project that comes in, I've never seen very useless projects like this project that are coming to agriculture. Alright? I'm saying it and I'm taking the full responsibility for it. They will come and buy multi-million cars for those projects. They will go to project sites, gather people, in a form of workshop sensitization, give them, let's say, $1,000, and for them they will have 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 above, and all of that. Pay consultants, talk about, like, use jargons. That's why I'm usually discouraged to watch news in this country. When you watch news, you will say, these people are educated, they have their PhDs, masters. They will speak out like, but go and see what they are doing. So, that is the problem. So an impact is going to be negative on us, and we will continue to have problems. And in return, like as a youth, that's why we don't talk about the issue of migration, illegal migration. They will call it legal or illegal migration. We cannot curb it as long as people are hungry at homes. I cannot be the lambing in the compound, and there is hunger. Every day I see my father or the mother is struggling to go to market, go and sit on the roadside to sell one or two things so that he or his so that he can come back and cook something. I am there, and I do not have anything to grab on. I do not have the tuition fee to go to Gambia College. University is a no-go area because of the tuition fee, and I'm sitting at home. What do you expect me to do? So these are issues. When you talk about the issue of COVID irregular migration, let us talk about what is causing people to migrate, like irregularly, like they say. So you're gonna be at home, and there is that problem, and every day you wake up to that problem, and people will say, what is that pushing you towards? These are the problems. So, when we are really talking about, for me, there is a need for national dialogue with regards to food, with regards to the prices of food and services. Even those prices of foods that are skyrocketing. Look at the quality. Man, you will be surprised. Go and see how people are selling around the roads. And what is the level of hygiene in those foods? What is the environment like? Right? Those people are in those foods. What is it? And there is, you said there is a food office for food quality and
security.
Seriously?
Food safety.
Food safety. So, like, we have a lot of problems. Even those foods that we are consuming in high prices that we struggle to attain. If you look at the quality also, but that's another discussion.
Yeah. So we don't have time. So Mariam, you can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Sane, for that. Madin jiber la ni la moy dal ko nga falen no nyame alba fan TV la jibe kala tele mo mu jarta jibe la bi nanun tol mis dala ja wala keta kutubo sanata nim Fatima Mulushi alla lo ko programme min keta current affairs dimas min kana de talalul wato la mbaka jamin ko na wala nyinti ko mars be ngal la ko masunkaro kanu fana banko kam bagasul daka la falal wato wat mbo ka shala ko no bi nimul sa tenden hani bi ale fan TV chundoro Miss Mulushi nga question nga jabi ko nyinin karo min sode wala ko alla bundala min keta Gambian Youth Chamber of Commerce atul bo mu do ko sifal ka mul ma koy min keta mul mi yalan koy mang soto ke no nyin sun karo ko
baraka Mariama ila nyinin karo ma ya ba Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce dalba funding kella side mala chamber nyinto ndalom funding killa ikafo ila voice ti ndalaba ga represent kan de so ngamun ke wala ka funding ke sembentu ya puru ya start ka kuol ke faye isaje kana ila jiko belandi masakundaka because ngalono ko masakundata ko be kenola samba mun fo kan funding ke wala ifon le wuli ke fon sembentu ya isaje sa kukata currently molba funding kol mulyalon ko tata no bakwe ye natina molbe sambentu yandi kan be train kan on be cool entrepreneurship start le fay nyami comme be la own business will start le fay nyami currently mola ke kan over 450 returnees every week more 13 ko wala train be train kan on entrepreneurship isaje after training if one was the start no fay and you can talk no deal like kodo deal le mumba tinala ya start because ninge train ga make sure like come because ital jamal bije ni aje bije nyim banko bule tata comme Mr. ya fanyame kuwal mantaku ima soto ba ima jikukute jamfa ima soto ba mun start la imano fe la ftam na pressure ba siaring family ba fule ima na fa soto nyin so kono mune na fati jang wala ne kata Sain kabri na tan tal mun fuetara wala kanyi tan dilako iman ke failures. I don't know how to say that in Malika. Yeah. Do you understand? So nkola ni tan digal purka long kupuri ya long ko niya de tata because I hammol la warta. Sain go training to ibe ka fu maliela ilafta mun kala because ya long momoran di offense to akun kona. Mun gana kuma ya da wala ina mariya kacha because kacha ka ku jamala fintin. But nini moment kacha italo na mumba mari konem ita mari hamola na fam italo na mari laftamun so through molo kacha ni wo training ni jamal ka fole lafta ka munke so ni la business will choose nga make sure a business plan or develop gale say low budget we ko la samba aiwe then you kodo di gale for ya start mboke kana currently ni sun karo mun kana nan ten mol na tal fontato nyola we tried mole go fund me ke with na partner soliba America le purka mol ma koy ni sun karol nga manol sambe nga sukurol sambe kol aning dulino because ntalu wiya mol mo funding ke wala tabar mo funding ke mo yalan ko ba kata ka back mo ka support la sotatro ban nimman sakunda ya nyati le molla ani la do ko sa kino galle ntal sulata mun na dara wala le ko do di molla mba dundi dula akumara dawda mba dundi la because nga moja mala makai hanin ni trade fair nga mulke danin ka ganin funding ke all train le entrepreneurship skills dolba handicraft kala dolba safuna dadal kala dolba beading kala dolba poultry farming musul mulka ta na ko to fanan ke sommentu yanne isaje after ni train role yana mala trade fair to yellow product sold exhibit je promoliasa so mulba ku jamala ke kanyin bankuka ninna support ka fota dorong anami te nyawo nyama so kunda fanta doku kala fay banta lokol la doro ya fa male ko do felanti anyi ninni because we are hungry for success. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Abaraka baka Fatima mbadi ngol kaliya mo nyama ndura ko to la bunda bolore mina wala ka funding ke wal makoy banko kam hani kabi nga tenten ka cha kon silam bita Mr. Sane ya Mr. Sane ite nyim banko la fenko koje nyaadi le former government na demaro ni sunkaro kana na nin nying masa kuna kutumba sirente ala demaro ina karo ni sunkaro kana ila ko leje nyaade
Fatima ko sunkaro kono Mariam okay so me sunkaro kono hanimata sunkaro kono like dekal na men kono ngawala for all the time momo yello wala so nenyi nen kanyi masakunda ko wala ani masakunda do ni sunkaro kana sako domol fon la ma fon la mbafule ko ndemel lo because masakunda do men jël adi wata nya fanu tale so nam ji jani nam ji sai wala diko masakunda do ning sunkaro kana mi ga kata jamal leke mbada la wala ka moto bal tale ki samba e murum banko bega ka sukurol dile ka manol di ka keke porol di adu ko kele sato banko bega alright do buje fon ka ninsol samba ki fadlalto ka sukurol di mo pour ma fa ko sona so now ni because me domur kol fokam bi aning fon le dajo ya so bajal ma sakunda lawo bem sewle de pour ka ko ka mol ma koy ila konol fanna domur la karola pour ka ko there is food self sufficiency ara mundo maskunda kaflo numbaki fatima fu jenno ko ka fu grow what you eat it what you grow so maskunda ni adun insafo no ko wata mu wol kafol adi be so be nga kan ko kam president fon jila kata kungo bal bonni in 2014 defon dara ko ngodo nyaaji la ka do ko men ke nyaaji ndoni kan dara kan la for week all right so ala parole the same aka mano dima do ko alo mano be ka do mo jan all right aka stole plus aka makoro fana suru bandala so mano fana mano katu dilal dron ay ala faka jawra kam ngeno time ka tusema ara ning ko lebe ko gen jammi fana tata fayo silo ni muta because aka ning japanese ul di taiwanese ul kamano di la ki keep jam plus aka men doku so be ko mo jan so wayo fana be ka fenneto me yalon ko woni naka dunna mano halifa ka fale num aku sign kam import aka lafa mana utamu num abuka lafa no de time ko utamu men ka doku jawol kase ko jammi fon dama ko men do ka sia so masa ko nako kala num kata ramu banko be kan kaji ko e fengo di molla e ka ko do fana di alaka so ka mul mako so mu fana ni masa ko nado namanaji ba ke kan kada sungolo kana ita mako di molla mbuka din kaji ko ni private molla ka ke momeja kunu fo mbaf ko mo ngako nas anyonta momeja nyonta nas daga mejang sungalo ko no bang mo de konkola ja alright so abuka ke misul ma fa ni kristo fana ma bang sida ka ke jel alma ala min dijam alma ala nyum sifa siaja alright vision development foundation this one motro da bonyul kata abokal jawara like these are people me ko nyene ka duwe sifa siaja mi ko minki kan politique bal be me ko askeno wole ko do sila bari buka so o fana la bol fala je so e kaje ko be même fo kan jambi coming na tamin nyamen tubabu kanto wolem fewle dajaw and then problem wol me ko dia musa da bakke because jang musul be nyene bakke fa ndefi mel be ka wuru musul len ko la musul la bata ko fu ngoy be ka wuru wala billahi ni dala mar soto sama bis musul tay si dale ni diamba musul bis musul ka menje wa floating if di ka wul fo I see them kala nan do ka wul wolle kata mar sedika suma kata kirin sudo be kirin ika life risk nimbango jam moja mo be nyama ika finti ika panu duni kata do be kata sirin wa flo bikam ika sino around 11 go to the market so woljima be if you talk to them e kema mantable ketibu e ba fle ko nata ko wa flo ko jam bi pour ni na fenso sita soko that's why ka say around 12 e dunga ke ta soko ni tabiro ke pour mol se de so de ka send their children to school di musama karam nol jira wolna karam soko e satare de mo jemi ko mentoma will they are living like that the common Gambian belief ka wala those men go they are up there maybe but do ko ma sakunda or to will they don't know this struggle that is why we look at this on behalf of those people and they are taking decisions haphazardly because we realities they don't know and they don't care to know the officer on be cool killer decision on behalf of those people. No, it's very very sad when I talk about this and having from a very humble background I know the sufferings of our mothers. Ekatral tama kan itul be kan ko bolela so nes mi ndola kan haji kan nke feel o merul katrawul ko ni like this is just Lord Claren you listen to a lot of merul mi ko ni if you watch the video follow back you can merul jika kumbo why are they crying because imafoko ibe kumbo kan because mon man ko dila imafoko ibe kumbo kan because masakunda man fendil iko ibe kumbo kan because they want to struggle because magoratim some of them will tell you clearly ko man inte kete mur wala mbetene so they say it because they want to live there to struggle imafoko ibe kumbo kan because masakunda man fengi no they want to struggle because they don't have anyone to give to them so and they need food so wo food ni bana dal ni mbukama so that is the problem so in as much as mawuli pour que si ka diamu fengol dajawa because comme na fa nyamen to wakondo fengol ni dajawa ni bala fengol ba ko kuma I don't end kadan so masa kuna fanna la wal kajele ko okay ni nyima kadi fawni nyatata yurwa ibike nakinyo mansa ni la fakata mol fon la fil just do ko kane rek na fa moy ko ten wala kasla ko ni nenke mol me fola mola comme to sangal ka fa nyama ni la faka yurwa keno ibe nyama to ya dol fanan kala pour yarati ruwa keno ne oasis lo jibe kabari ko beslo ñu fan la monika it was a serious problem one of the reasons oasis did is because Solomon dokuno because mol ko de balaji Ibrahim Yunus operation noko kabin jawara bejang in 1973 jawara ni slow both sides 40 meters this way 40 meters awale bulaji bi ale ni bebe sini slow kanteng ni bi ni notice ka foti wul and masakunda is care if slow ko ni ne bondiji it's going to backfire
Absolutely.
right so that is the problem so membi je wolente ko nenyi ka masakunda do na ra makro la demorol fanal sungaro ko amba fale ko masakunda men tambita wolle katoke bak ni lol bi je membi bina katoke la so ne katoke ni murna nyangor ge yin ka mafala boro masakunda do wolle ka katoke ni mbake na ra molla demorol fanal sa ko sungaro ko wolle ka mako je adu ka men sul ko fanam ya foko fe on la daje way ka loje na presidential executive order janni ka diam price hike mol buka hayin buka famul daw but bi fewme yalon ko like ndara sunkaru ndara bi ko ta ammi less than 5 days pour ka fango sam pour suro man comme dero mo en charge maintenant lamo dinkele I was shocked ako 20 days ka ko je 20 days ko nasa ndara so ko nado ko mbir fango beti nyata alright so pompitero time so ni ka fango buka do ko nuta maybe now you know sa ka do ko no jan so why not na invest back ka joko na pumdiro no doku bay pumdiro da jil as low as $5 $3 if you can do it is doable jabo se doku no jan kende ke jabo da se ji as low as $5 or $3 or dollars in tara is doable asake no wala kana import na fam fere mano is we have fresh water gambe ale banku ne ma bal din dolla bari ko no al nas kanari ale banku sika din dolla ka al nari ala so dolla banku na babu jam so we are talking about the depreciation of Fatima Afajan Dallas will continue like a deficit kaji against dollar against the euro in major currencies because muka production ina kadomo ni fanang muka import fanang you don't export something raw like that near import something raw yes you have some foreign exchange but I cannot backfire in the sense that like for instance no import we need sardine how much do we need to import sardine back so that is still going to have an impact on our dollars so we continue to suffer a depreciation of inflation and that is the problem insecurity besial education betinyal illegal migration bekala
so I mean I have a question for you I mean that is I have a question for you that is komi ya fo nyami ni mul melan ko nyancho na la mul operation clyde road inata ka mul kamiro ta ke bundi ila wafi bila I mean ke jahal ni dal so ida mi ni lañi action wala ni lañi I mean insilo mun tata ko montra I mean mulla fonta ki kafu I mean at marché do
yeah naturally adabijil ndef dela jeru because in slav mbasta da mo ko ni slav ndo abedam pour que slope kala because ya la to nganyol ma fanga the time no even mol ka tambi da the food partner it was a problem pour que tambi ARP still wala fango fugo jawal kay lo loka so that was good pour que kala so bari ñun timo da fay ka du marché kon that was one of their problems with becoming Iraqis because I went there and saw it with my eyes kajo ko ikadum marché kon ko jele boy ko biko selo the last time that mero mendara viral mero ni observe ka bin sirim tikada ani tiapo to tio just tio abolo africa mero ni waso ngambe go for me keme so ikai wuliji and a lot of others comme na tamina nyame woljima bije imu furia musolde iman kesoto mo be yalan ko ke wo be nyame sai sako wol e jolin fankol so problem wol so abe fe on da jawande kan nyaadi because sai namo jamaalo me ko bi wol yefani wafro ina so no time misal fe mo tan sel ko wafro 80 people so ni wol bondis lo ko man sid la so again so let's say 30 people ko sai kay ndol jakal tale man sid la so do wafro keno sa mo jele wafro ke kan sai only 50 because 30 be ko sai man la so sai but for mo men gana masho ko san broke the consumers like 4 talata no money that number is now so for them 50 people only and they satisfy this consume all these consumers 80 people come satisfy no at the end what will happen demand be high la in demand high the economic price so ning select planning is good but that for alternative table about the table man for mo man ko about so kabro kara drop sign mil fengul man nasia ko take mul be mil sana mo sana siata so fengul da these are independence they know what I'm talking about alright so ibajal sign the demanding height so but supply ni man is now limited because atalata mo jama fa namu so lo me ko han sign will it's very sad wala condition right now and we are not even talking about it for me we need a national dialogue on like Gambian to buka kaca. Buka kaca. So buka nyenda kaca ni kudul kulmi yang kabing affect kana directly. Is very important na sing kaca regional, district, or national kaca on issues lami yang kabing merendikan na kaca. Pare hani buko. So tayo mo masuro pare
Madi ngol ko nga fale nyami dorong al balla dimanche lu programme lam jibe ka fam ko current affairs Fine TV talal lulu min kanale jim. An ka bi matante na kaca kon dorong bay lapta ka dum kaca kono bar wato la ma dinna tambite an uban Fatima Mulushi iti ya ajibe nya mira nya dira ko ni preso mi balla fa kante ni penda jabe mo marse kon ala ko kuma seta mun to mapa mina sababu
Mum fala asababu munti ko nga fanya mi molla attitude mol daji ko because tal fon la mun fanja wut because ni to ko eba preso ka foka because imam barola support wala imam ni okay ita for me fanja wut because ita badi wala kana ni marse to sandir so president mo kala wo baya wo ma no for marse ko mumbi so ndal mul kata marse to kata sandir I think it's high time being na together nganyo mak also ikafanya defa Gambia consumer protection. Inyanta ka fintile ya mole muna be keri. Like how can they cope this? Do you understand? Because more ba jikidin gala but fundamental focus. Ni ko president ba de president is mole la soto mole ya non ko bela do ko keka. Ni ata mole institutional for. I am the acting CEO of Youth Chamber of Commerce. Do ko don't be there. I don't do it. You assign people to do it. Nobody will come to me. We have our business development. We have our finance. We have banking system. You go to the finance. Business development for another local. So everything cannot come to the CEO. Banko for Nankadoku. Mobe Titano la president ya fa ko dia munina unless na aje ko cool balana tambikan afane finti idea. You understand? But what we are saying anyato ta kasato sambanya sato anyato ta abumol jakal la bake because school bitaka nyame it's not right so ye finti ye diamu moli ya mole mumbe caring president of the mol ma koy I strict rules so nad mumba tinna you know these people even you stop la because it's really affecting us and do never na advice tala wala batin la mole voted kid ni manol ni sukuro ni duli nol ni jabol yol nati gale pour price ya fo gale price jindi wala ni da jindi la ifo ya nati na ya supply mole ila fewol ba tolle bulle de mota sa you understand these are the strategies that you can use to win people's heart me if I am there that is what I would do and they will vote for me yes interesting Gambia katanyami is very easy to win Gambians heart you know ni ko do di mola ka banne fewol manol domur fewol diala mu yalon ko abatala for a long way. You understand? Wala watin nala. Yala fila pang. Aha. So I think that's it.
Abaraka wake Miss Fatima. Sila nga kudu ite muna soto kamim fo jibe lani la modala mi be jibe kampanta bi.
Finally me fola dron wala fengole kamen jalwa ko yarlo ja ko moleta alna murukun ko. Mulu ka ko kora wala ka alna murukun ko. So defa nang ba fala like ni lafta pour mole bono be men kono kola men kono. Besona do ko lam telefona do ko bala is a problem so muro safa ko fo ata fama be sinja na fa londi ko almamo fa ka do ko kan alright every year ngara ko ngodo ngara fawro plus hani mom men keno an ka men ko do ban weekend so na production fonse wala en hand na murkun ko like il so kon ila bakay no at least ila nana do ko ji you know there is a form of agriculture me ko han mo resong maybe ila so kon fa be tile je mo resong news no le fenke kon kanol nin aussi valde at least new duku ji tusanna so fana ka bondi fenne kon so fana doku bala is a major problem boko son ka doku ke mo be ko sign to waya be ke to kam fo ba kata wonin pare wa kata so o monta kan sambad lato nyaji bi hanina banko ni like ndolfon bulo filter dama dama asata wol na kamu system wol education fanang butaka nyame anyanda falina na karamu wol do ko english language won compulsory won biya ko yalta you know agriculture mo optional so that's the problem so meme wala fane wala ndiko mo la ko mandingo ila kankan kono fending kiji jatu kiji no namo jere mi ko salatu ni sungar ko man rasanga ani yalan ko salatu mo ko do mo bonde akon sungar ko niti uta yake la baka ya ko mo wala ila larantuji sungar ko ita salo sanna sungar ko ita kanu sanna ni ba atake ke nana ita sanna wala nana bloka ka tiko no ita sanna ara jatol ding bi ka dugu jeni ka bulu jay kamu kanu the same thing this one ngomba fala this one jimbo ya ko dugu so this one jabol ning papijaro wolde mul bi ka dugu no jena ali ka beda ara so mano mun mano de ngal kadam mano ko dugu janne you go to some areas mano ko dugu le yara Allah si yara alright so in the bottom of under so yeah so that is the solution alright let's do that I'm going to say that on to the people alright so to the government let them take in charge let them take charge b it will be I'm not talking to the president I'm talking to all of the meanko is a role deal like for instance the Minister of Trades regional integration and employment will market price when I talk about this. So like sometimes people misconstrue this. The president is there, yes, new coal field he overall I don't blame. So but more people that are from our homes will have it. So let us be bold enough to call them out be na ko yenda coming because president fan dictator I kiji. Alright. So all the jama bi ni bonni ka ko ha particular na bonni. Or be men ke man raki. So government fana at the high level ningo government ibere mo bije ni telo ni dame akata yelo ya je ko menyen de ke woyke mon sakunda kana sala ko okay ni nañ ko karke politically am bedando mol me ke jew kam yurwani politiko buga nyuta ni la fa ko pour politiko fon ye wish bi ye kul ye ba manje yurwana fi mol sa mol bi dame sa mol awiatal mol be je kan mol people inform utamo le kata sa to maybe television clip wala television phone to wala Gambia be ni news wala sita joli jate sign whatever that is happening live coverage kadi whatever having member in the background kalon people are informed just do okay you don't need to tell people vote for me or this is what I have done people will see it so that is for the side of the government so this is what I have to say and then thank you Fan TV always look at manager you know ala
baraka bake mari jiberna ne ngala moy lalu o kutu ba ko nyami ndura ko ngante wosete ngamuru
Oh, my final message, I would say, let us take charge, take responsibility, especially if you're a youth. Every household, they're depending on their young people. If you grow old, you will not be able to go out to hustle for your family. So the young people that are there, please take charge and be responsible. You know, before you can get a position, you need to show the government that you are reliable. You are a person who can handle it. How can you do it? From the grassroots. People like us, we are trying hard. I started business when I was just 17 years old. I was not waiting for anybody to tell me do this or do that. You know, start doing something. Through that, they will see it. Before I become a CEO, I was doing my business. I just became a normal member in the youth chamber. Luckily, I became a board and now CEO. So if I can do it, you can also do it. Just start something. Like there's a saying called "Nyaka Daramobon." You know, just start something. No matter what, it will grow. And the people that are going to the, you know, back way and all of that, we are not saying you are lazy. It's because you think there is no hope for this in this country. That is why you are leaving. If you are back, start being responsible and do something for yourself. Because any country that you go to, there is God in every country. It doesn't mean if you travel, you're going to, you know, you are going to have money at the end of, in one night. It doesn't work like that. People are leaving this country and sleeping in the streets in other countries. And they wish they are here. So if you are here, start something. People are making it here. You know, the likes of Okota, Saul Fraser. Most of them, if they explain their story, it doesn't happen overnight. They start up something and it grows. Jangan ka ala dani muna dora walang barakut. Iba friending kela ya ala dani baruka hani kembu wafo ni na barakata iba grow la. So just start doing something. And people like us are showing people that the young people of this country are not lazy. So talfana inyanda kan sembentu yale saje odol sa molta as inspiration for them to start doing something great. Yeah, thank you very much Fine TV for having us here. I pray your, you know, TV grow to international level because you are empowering young people, and this is what we need, a platform. Because support is not all about giving people money, but giving them a space, a platform, to grow. And I would tell the viewers to support Fine TV as well because they are doing great. This is all part of national development. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, just to end this, I mean, like, people are willing to more left okay. But now you machine man raji. Ndala mo melan go we are down there. I mean, in CRR. At the middle I will go never midaji because I mean, you understand? But machine man raji. I mean, Jamondo is a problem. So these are things that we are facing there. So like you cannot do it without the other thing. So I think what you coming ala fanyamere, Mansakunda has a role to play. That they are key in any development. The people are willing to do, but the environment is not conducive enough to do that. So esteemed viewers, that was all we have for you today on your current affairs. So I was your co-host Ibrahim Bay, and of course today we hand over to the young lady who was in charge, and I hope you do enjoy it. And thanks to Kudubo and of course Fatima for coming. We look forward to having you on our next programs. When the need arise. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, viewers. We have now come to the tail end of the program. And today with us, we had Mr. Kutubo Sane and Ms. Fatima Mulushi. We thank you for honoring our invitation. And then I was your host, Mariama Sede. Thank you. Join us next week, Sunday, at the same time. Bye-bye. It is your current affairs show. Bye-bye.